Good morning, guys. Welcome to Words from a Friend podcast. I'm your host, Marty Carey, and this is the podcast that follows my book, Words from a Friend, a daily guide to a purposeful life. It's available at Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com. We're on a 365-day inner journey together. Happy to have you along, and we are on day 50 today. Day 50, 5-0. Can't believe it already. Amazing. Already 50 messages, and I hope you had a chance to see every one of them. And if not, you can always go back and watch the other episodes so you can catch up. All right, and thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. Today's message is February 20th, my son Patrick's birthday. Gift to me. Patrick Carey, I love you more than words could ever say. You're the best son a father could ever ask for. And I'm so proud of you. So is Mom. Love you so much. Have a great day, babe. Okay. We are talking about the limited world of lack today. Lack. Lack is a mindset. It's part of the lower mindset of I can't, I don't see how I can, no way this is going to happen for me. That's lack thinking. This is lack thinking. Where is what I should have? It should just be given to me. You know, I'm a victim. That's lack thinking. It's lacking the truth of who you really are. It's lacking the truth right off the bat. You're already beautiful. You're already abundant. You're already a forever beautiful being of light. You're already everything you're looking for. It's just starting to tell that ego of yours, the earthly one that has this much of a view of everything. Nothing, hard to see, doesn't know faith, doesn't know trust, doesn't know God. Our ego doesn't know God because it's just the self that was kind of given to us when we were here. A lot of the things we inherited, right? A lot of the lines we speak every day are our parents' lines, right? A lot of the tone we use could be from our parents, right? And how we walk through life. It's just what we learned. It's what we picked up and said, well, this is who I am. I've been told from birth. You are you're like, you can change, you can change, right? You can grow. And we are growth-seeking beings by nature. We are, okay? We're the light. The light seeks to expand. And that's why we go through so many dark nights of the soul in this body of ours, because it's us needing to slough old ideas off, old beliefs that no longer serve the rise. We can't believe that stuff anymore about ourselves, or else we're never going to get to where we want to be. The self-doubt's got to go. The lack thinking, it's got to go, right? Out the door. It's not real. It's just a mindset, okay? It's a state of being. It's a state, okay? And states, you can rise above states. You do it every day. You do it every day. You know, if I told you in 2 seconds, I just bought you a ticket to the Bahamas, and you were in a bad mind state a second ago, you think you're going to shift? You think you're going to shift yourself? Yeah, I didn't shift you. Your own energy shifted. And you can do that on your own, with your own mindset. With your own mindset. You don't need somebody outside of you to validate you. You don't need somebody outside of you to motivate you. Once you know how to self-motivate, well, there you go. You've answered a huge prayer on your own behalf, saying, yep, God says I can. I can. I don't know how I can, but God says I can. So that's proof enough for me. Proof enough for me, right? Jesus said we could do the same things as he, and maybe even more. His words, not mine, his words, right? It's like, wow, yeah, okay, let's explore that. Well, you know what it is. Jesus taught light. Jesus taught us about our own light and said, you need no one else, right? My light. The light I'm showing you how to do right now, right? The Father gives me that light. The Father being God, the universe, spoke to Jesus. Jesus understood. Mary understood. They were people of light. They taught light, and they taught each of us that we are ourselves the same as they. The same. Okay, peel off what isn't real. But as you know, he was crucified for it because he was doing what? Spreading truth. He was spreading truth. He was a messenger of God's truth. Okay? We are each a messenger of that truth when we're shining in our higher energy. We are each a messenger. When we're living in our passion and the vibe is great and, you've taken command. You've taken command of your ship, maybe for the first time. Maybe this is the first time you're really going to be taking command of your ship, no matter how old you are. It doesn't matter. Every day you start feeling a little bit better by doing it. So it doesn't matter. The past is gone. It has no power over you except that which you give it. So don't give it any power. The only power from the past that you should have is the lessons learned and the light given. Okay? Lessons learned and the light given is the same thing. It's your gift of new wisdom to rise even higher. Get it? You're it. You're all of it, wrapped in one beautiful shell. And it's the inner journey. The outer journey, look what the outer journey is. It's great. We'll go on vacation once in a while. There's so much more going on in here that when you explore it, you say, wow, I had more talents in there than I ever knew. And I never explored them because I was just living the grind, not in the present moment. Just always in a lower sub, worrying about this and, all this other garbage that the world tells us to do. We can be our own heroes when we take up and say, I take a full account for this ship now. 100% responsibility for my ship and how I walk in this world and how I talk in this world and how I give in this world. And I'm no longer going to be a victim. I'm not going to speak those words. I'm no longer going to play the martyr. I'm no longer going to live in self-pity. Those are temporary states that you can get in when something doesn't go your way. Make sure they're temporary states. If you live in self-pity and martyrdom all the time, the woe is me. That's just your ego lying to you about who you are. Okay? Don't believe the liar. I believe that liar so much of my life. So much of it. It told me who I was. Instead of me going, no. God tells me who I am. And you know what? I believe him. So, end of story. End of story. All right, let's move on. Okay, how many times do you complain about money? How many times do you speak of your lack and limitations? How often are you acting like the world is against you in some way? It's a script. It's a low-energy script, and we got to change it. We're changing it together this year, okay? So if you've been in that, no shame. We've all been there, okay? It's changing your script, all right? Self-love is about changing your script, being willing to, taking command, okay? All right, how jealous and envious are your thoughts, words, and expressions? Jealousy is lack. Envy is lack. It's like they have more than I have, or in some way or another. And man, I'll tell you what, I don't like them for it. Jealousy and envy are lower bags. Lower. Okay, you're unique. You just be yourself. And whatever anybody else thinks about you is none of your business. None of your concern. Okay? Live your life. Your tribe will show up. Live that light. Live in it. Stay in it. Produce it. Project it. Because most people are projecting their ego into the world. Their fear. Their fear-based thinking. Okay? And that's what lack is. It's fear-based thinking. I'm not enough. I don't have enough. I'll never be enough. It's lack. So it's got to go. Because it's not real. It's just a lower mind state. Boom. Out of the garden, baby. That's one of the weeds to pull. Lack and limiting thoughts. Jealousy and envy. Pull them out. Nope. They're holding you down. They're holding you back from seeing the light. The light that you truly are. Okay? Now, time to toss. These are the questions that will root out your current beliefs. Only then when you shine the light of truth on dark thoughts of lack, will you finally expose the lies you've been telling yourself. Right? Shine the light of truth on it. The light isn't just smiles and stuff outwardly. The light is a flashlight of truth within. Where have I been lying to myself? Where have my habits really brought me? Right? Have they brought me up, or have they kind of just kept me in the same place for far too long? Going around the same block far too long. You got to look at that, right? And that's the flashlight of looking within, cleaning out the basement. And then you feel lighter, you feel better, you move better. You move better in life, right? You give better, you're brighter, you're more joyful, you're more present, right? You're more present. because you feel good about yourself and life, to be more present, to stay in that beautiful state. That's another state. It's a choice. It's a practiced choice. It shouldn't have to be practiced, but in this world, we have been suppressed. We have been suppressed with dense negative energy for centuries. I mean, forever, right? Forever. You know, we were taught to stop, drop, and roll for nuclear war when I first started in kindergarten. We're under the desks. I think we're taught fear from the beginning. Yeah, it's safety. Safety. Yeah, great. The world is definitely, can be a complete nightmare, right? And we're taught fear right out of the gate. We're taught the opposite of who we are right out of the gate, and that's why the world just kept going in the loop, in the matrix, in a fear-based world. All right, but we're changing that by saying, we see you for the little pissant that you really are. And we're rising, the lights are rising and saying, no more foolishness. No more foolishness, and you're part of that. So thanks for that. It's about recognizing. It's about recognizing that the light is above all the stuff that we fight about. All of it. It's up here where we recognize, of course, we remember we're all lights from the other side. And we look at this and we go, holy crap, we were in a foolish play. We were in a foolish, deadly play, right? And we allowed it. The masses finally decided to say no more. I want to go see these other countries. I want to go see them. I want to visit other people. I want to know their culture. But they make us so afraid to do all this stuff. It's like, no, I'm staying right where I am. I don't need to see people anymore. We contract, right? We don't want to go out anymore, right? It's true. We've all felt that way, but man, that's not the world we want to live in. No. And fear is not the God we serve. No. We have to stop serving fear. We have to stop projecting it in our own life. Lack thinking is part of that projection. Okay? Be grateful. I think that's what we're going to get to in the next paragraph. Okay. All right. The lies only keep you stuck in the very poor, low energy vibe. Lack is limited thinking, when the truth is you, my friend, are unlimited. Unlimited, right? If you think it, you can do it. I don't know how yet, but, you bring stuff to life, starting with your thoughts, like we said yesterday. Good thoughts, good speech, in your favor, not like, oh, this will never work. Jettison, lack thinking, lack words, victim words. Poison. They're poison for your life. Victimhood. It's poison. Okay? No, God didn't create any victims. No, didn't create them. He created lights that may have dimmed themselves. They've been taught to be dimmed. They've been told they are dim, and they believed it. That's it. Okay? So let's bust out of that cocoon. Everybody bust out of it. It's time. Bust out of your cocoon and say, no, I want more for myself. I want to know the light. I want to know it inside myself so that I'm projecting that out into the world as my message every day. That's the one that helps. The other one keeps us where none of us really want to be. Okay? All right. The path of change begins every morning upon awakening. You must carry yourself through the day, and end your days with gratitude. Look for those things in your day that make you feel grateful. Look for the blessings. Look for the bright spots. We're always looking for the other stuff. Our mind is trained to look for the bullshit. And where is it going to be? Well, you got to avoid it sometimes for sure, because people love to be in it. They're just trained to be in it, and they don't know that. We're addicted to noise. We're addicted to conflict. We've been addicted to conflict. And you know who makes the money on our conflict? Everybody but us. Everybody but the little guy makes money on conflict. All those people on the top making money from us arguing, us hating each other. There's lots of money to be made in fear, and I talk about it. Fear is a business. It's been projected. Remember that we are projectors. What information we come in, we reproject it out there. It's like gossip. Hey, did you hear about, what are you projecting? Are you projecting stuff that helps humanity or in your family, in your children, and you're teaching them that? What are you teaching them that you project? Because they're going to project it, or they're going to rebel against that projection, and they're going to start projecting their own stuff. But either way, it's the narrative that we're usually projecting instead of God's narrative, which is we are all from the same family. We are all family of light. We're all here to help each other. Most importantly, we're all here to raise this place into a place where we all want to be, right? More heavenly. Heaven to earth just means we turn on our lights together. Okay? And you matter. Remember, you matter more than your ego will ever tell you. That ego will tell you you don't matter at all. That son of a, right? I know that voice. Okay? I've had to slough it out. And I have to slough it out every day. It tries to sneak back in some little weird way. No, sir. I see you. Nope. Nipping. I'm nipping you. Right? Say no. You want to start reliving an old script in your head that day. It's very familiar to you because it's an old groove you've just kept thinking about for years. It's the same thoughts every day. Right? Take the trash thoughts out and you nip them. You go, no. The wheel of that story starts, in the morning or whatever it is, because the morning mindset is just not there yet. And the old stories start. And you go, nope, not today. I got no time for that old story today. I'm writing a new one. So back off. Right? Bitch, please, I'm from Troy. Like the mug says. Say that to your ego. All right? Okay. You must carry yourself through the day with gratitude, being truly grateful for what you already have in your life, giving thanks to those in your life who love you and whom you love. That's got to be a constant little blurt out. It's constant. It's just consistent, right? Never let people wonder if you love them. Never let them wonder. You leave the other side going, I wish I'd said it. It's just something if you have trouble saying that in the past because you were raised where it just wasn't said, it was just assumed, right? And that's okay, but it's not as good as saying it. Not even close. A true I love you means the world to somebody, to everybody. And guess what tool that is? If it's real, if it's not manipulation, right? Real. We want real. Okay? Acting in a faithful way. Giving thanks as if, oh yeah, here we go. I'm sorry. Give thanks for your bright future in advance. All right? For it is sure to arrive in a faith-filled mind state. Right? We walk by faith, not by sight. If you see it, you'll get to it. Right? But you're living in it, the process. You're living the process the whole way. Right? And there's going to be learnings the whole way. Learnings. But you're on an adventure to squeeze out the best juice of life in those adventures of yours when you're looking forward to them. And you say, I got what it takes to do it. Okay? That's just daily life, getting up in the morning and say, I got what it takes to do today. And I only have to think about today because I can't live more than today. All right? So you put it into that day, and then you just become consistent in the way you walk. And then you know what? As you get brighter and lighter, you become easier about life. Life becomes easier to manage, to walk in. And that becomes the brighter path. That's God's path. The path of the ego is just like chaos. Bullshit. Drama. Is that what you want? There's plenty to have here. If you want drama in your life, plenty to have at it. But watch your life go down the tubes. Watch your circle get small. Because we're all sick of it. Right? We're sick of it in ourselves. All right. Give thanks as if what you want is already here. Acting in this faithful way will bring to you all you desire. Which means you're saying, I'm working in my favor. I see it's possible for myself, and I believe I can do it. Not only do I believe it, but now as I've started it, and I can see the way forward better because I've taken the first few moves, well, now I've moved from believing into knowing. And now the juice is really there. Because I know at the end of this thing is going to be something sweet. Something sweet. whatever that is for you and your mind of wanting to do bigger things for yourself. Okay, so the CTAs begin the inner shift away from your old lack-filled thoughts, speech, and actions. Remember, thoughts, words, deeds, aligning with the truth. Truth. You've got to be walking in integrity. You got to be having your quality self out there, honored, honest dealings. Be honest in your dealings. Okay? We don't get away with anything. Our ego thinks, well, no, I'm getting away with this. God has a perfect accounting system. Doesn't he? Perfect accounting system. And so, you want to know what you come back to your door, then you got to live a real life, purposeful life, one that is on the giving side of the coin. Okay? The I can side of the coin, not the taking victim on the other side of the coin. Those are our choices. Because we have them both in us. And we have free will to choose. So, our free will, you got to make that choice and you got to commit to the choice. Otherwise, we're bouncing back and forth all the time. Instead of living a more straight is the gate and narrow is the way type of a life. The road less traveled is the beautiful way, turns out. Right? Not the world's way. Not what the world's ego dictates that we do. But more of a mission-driven life to add light for those who come after us. Right? I want my kids to have a better world than is right now, because I feel we had a better world. I really do. I think we had a blessed for the childhood we had. I loved growing up in the 70s and 80s. Superb time. Superb. And I think a lot was lost after that, and it went to garbage town, and people realized that our conflict is a moneymaker. And we just they said division is going to be the way. And now we're saying, no, not even close. Not even close. All right? So turn on your light. That's your job, baby. That's your job today and every day. And you turn it on for yourself first, then your cup will overflow into the world, into the lives of others. And that's the best you can do. That's the best you can do. So you already got what it takes. Okay? We'll love it up. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.